Well, there's some breaking news this hour that could have implications for Australia's hopes of avoiding Donald Trump's tariffs. Let's bring in political correspondent Cameron Redden in Canberra. Cam, the president has taken a swipe at Malcolm Turnbull on social media. What's prompted this?
Truth social diplomacy, Tom. It's just after midnight in Washington, D.C., but the president is back on social media, his own platform of Truth Social, and he's got Malcolm Turnbull, the former Australian Prime Minister, in his sights. I want to show you what Donald Trump has shared on his social media platform in just the last few minutes. He says Malcolm Turnbull, with no other context, the former Prime Minister of Australia, who was always leading that wonderful country from behind, never understood what was going on in China, nor did he have the capacity to do so. The president adds, I always thought he was a weak and ineffective leader, and obviously Australians agreed with me. So that post shared by Donald Trump within the last hour or so. Of course, we remember the heated phone conversation between Donald Trump and Malcolm Turnbull in those very early days of his presidency, where they discussed a refugee swap deal that had been agreed to under the Obama administration. President Trump wasn't happy about that. Ultimately, they got through and sorted out. Remember too, Malcolm Turnbull did manage to secure, along with the help of Joe Hockey, the ambassador, an exemption the last time that steel and aluminium tariffs were on the table. Donald Trump put them forward. It was under Malcolm Turnbull that Australia secured an exemption. One has not yet been secured for these latest round of tariffs. We've been wondering exactly what might have prompted this latest social media post from the president. Perhaps it could be this interview from Malcolm Turnbull, which he gave to Bloomberg in the last few hours, in which he's critical of Donald Trump's tariff regime, suggesting that they could not only harm the global economy, but they will come back to bite Americans as well.
I don't think Americans will feel that would be happy if inflation starts to go up, or they, go into recession. Or there's a lot of people are very pessimistic about the consequences of his policies. If this triggers a global wave of protectionism around the world, that's clearly going to be bad for business everywhere. Trump seems to have a view that America can prosper at the expense of everybody else, but that's not going to work.
Yeah, impossible to ignore the timing of it, isn't it? Malcolm Turnbull's been pretty critical of Donald Trump for a while now, post being in office. That pops up. There's a late night tweet after midnight, you said, which probably explains the unnecessary apostrophe after Australia or within Australians. Does this provide political cover for Labor? If the tariff exemption doesn't happen, which seems to be the mail, they go, well, Malcolm Turnbull might not have helped.
Well, timing is everything, Tom. And another one of Donald Trump's trade advisors was out overnight suggesting that he didn't like the idea of exemptions at all, that it wasn't just Australia, that other countries have, of course, been lobbying for some carve-outs as well. We've seen a temporary pause on auto tariffs, for example, on car imports from Mexico and Canada. There have been some other areas where the president has delayed tariffs but still wants to push on. So we've got, a bit over 2 days left before they kick in. It's March 12, so that's kind of March 13 Australia time. The work is still ongoing. Kevin Rudd is really the tip of the spear on this for Australia. We know the coalition seized on his previous comments as well, but it's these present comments now from Malcolm Turnbull. If they're tied to Australia, Tom, you'd think it only hurts our chances of getting an exemption again.
Cam, thank you.